Greetings, welcome to the course Outcome Based Education and Accreditation. This course is slightly updated version of the previous courses which were offered by NPTEL. The course, the outcome of this course or this particular unit is that at the end of the unit we expect you to understand the purpose and outcomes of the course. We are calling it as OBE and accreditation. OBE is a short version of outcome based education. Okay. Now, engineering programs in India are offered as per the regulations of All India Council for Technical Education called AICTE. All teachers of engineering programs need to be familiar with all the agencies that are concerned at national level as well as state level with the engineering education. And in India, as per AICTE, engineering programs are offered as two categories, under two categories. One is tier 1, what we call is academically autonomous, and tier 2 which are academically non-autonomous. Academically non-autonomous means the colleges are affiliated to a university and university decides what the curriculum, and it also conducts the examination. It also processes the responses of students in their examinations and evaluates their performance and declares the results. And the entire curriculum is designed by one body connected with the university. The tier 2 colleges are only responsible for actual conducting the courses by their faculty members. The rest of it is all controlled by the affiliating university. Whereas academically autonomous colleges, the colleges are affiliated to a university, but they have their own processes. They can decide their curriculum and they conduct the courses. They also conduct the examinations and they evaluate the performance of the students and then submit the final results to the university for them to publish. Whereas there are third type of institutions, what you call private universities. The universities will be responsible for everything. They have their own departments decide their curriculum and then conduct the courses. So broadly, as far as engineering institutions are concerned, they are divided into tier 1 and tier 2. At present, more than 80% of engineering colleges are academically non-autonomous. We have nearly 5,000 institutions in the country offering engineering programs. And of course, this number keeps fluctuating from time to time. Now, there is one process called accreditation process. It is, as you know, an engineering or any college for that matter, a higher education institution is a social institution. It is responsible to the society. So, one has to keep assuring the society that what they are doing and the way they are conducting their affairs is being done in a responsible way to meet certain requirements. Now, accreditation is a process of quality assurance and improvement. That is, it is a kind of recognition which indicates to the society and all the related agencies that a program or institution fulfills certain minimum set of standards. All engineering programs in India, need to be accredited by the National Board of Accreditation. It is an autonomous body of Ministry of Education, Government of India. Each program, each engineering program, every branch will have to get themselves accredited. Whereas all higher education institutions, whether they are universities, degree awarding colleges or engineering colleges, the institutions are accredited by National Assessment and Accreditation Council called NAC. It is also an autonomous body of Ministry of Education, Government of India. And at present, all engineering colleges and private universities want their engineering programs to be accredited by NBA, also their institutions to be accredited by the NAC. So, the teacher should be familiar with that when they are conducting their courses, they are doing it in a particular context, and also they have to meet certain quality requirements which are checked by accrediting agencies. And also all these regulatory bodies and accrediting agencies of higher education in India require that all higher education programs are conducted in the framework of outcome based education. We briefly explain what it is. Now, it is no longer a state affair or a national affair to offer engineering programs. People are moving across the various countries. After graduation, many people go to different countries to practice their profession. So, you also require some kind of international recognition. You can't do it completely independently. To do that, there is what is called Washington Accord. Washington Accord recognizes the substantial equivalence of programs accredited by signatory countries. That means a BE or a BTech program offered by some institution in India, and let us say another BE BTech program offered in a country like Malaysia, are they approximately equivalent? And they will be considered equivalent if you are recognized by the Washington Accord. So, what Washington Accord says, it recommends that graduates of programs accredited by any of the signatory countries be recognized by other signatory countries as having met the academic requirements for entry to the practice of engineering in their countries. At present, there are 25 signatory countries to the Washington Accord. Every country will have to go through an elaborate process of presenting themselves and inviting Washington Committee members to come and inspect their programs, and after that only they will be considered to be part of the Washington Accord. India is a signatory country to this accord. It became a signatory only in 2014, not prior to that. Many aspects of outcomes stipulated by the NBA are as per Washington Accord. The language, the terminology that is used by the NBA are very close or similar to what Washington Accord has stated. So, it is necessary that every teacher needs to be familiar with what this Washington Accord is. Now, we are talking about outcome based education. So, let us briefly explain what this outcome based education is. We use the word outcome or outcomes of learning to mean something specific. Outcomes of learning or learning outcomes are what the student should do at the end of any learning experience. See, this can be, learning experience can be informal, like walking on a street, down the street, you observe and through that process you also learn something. But we are more interested in formal education. You are given a formal, you are part of a formal program, and so outcome of formal education is what the student should be able to do at the end of a program. A program means it is generally 4-year or 2-year program, or a course, a semester course, or sometimes part of a course which we call it as instructional unit. So, at the end of such formal learning experience, what the student should be able to do constitutes learning outcome. Okay. There are several words used to represent learning outcome, which we will look at more in detail in later units. So, outcome based education is an approach to education in which decisions about the curriculum, instruction and assessment are driven by the exit learning outcomes that the student should demonstrate at the end of a program or a course. So, what we need to do is we have to state very clearly what the student should be able to do at the end of a certain program or a course. And we also measure whether he has achieved that, and then we evaluate whether he has actually achieved that or not. Okay. But all this is decided not by what teacher considers is the subject matter that needs to be taught, but you have to start with what the student should be able to do. You have to specify it very clearly at the beginning of the semester and measure the student performance against that. That is outcome based education. Now, the National Board of Accreditation has defined this whole accreditation process in 2015 and 16. It is now almost 10 years. So, what they have done is they have reviewed what has been done in 2015, and in the beginning of this year they have formally revised, and the document is put on their website. Okay. All engineering programs need to submit a self-assessment report, what is called SAR, for accreditation by the NBA. A report has to be prepared by the department with the help of all the faculty, and this will be submitted. It will be a very elaborate document which we will see in the later part of this course, and based on that the NBA will send a committee to visit the department, talk to all the concerned persons, and then finally give their judgment whether things are happening satisfactorily and to what extent. The format of SAR, as I mentioned, is now revised in 2025, and this is called GAPC version 4. GAPC stands for Graduate Attributes and Professional Competencies. We will elaborate that during part of the course. For example, the NBA in all their presentations, in all their activities including SAR, treat graduate attributes, the word graduate attributes is the same as what they call program outcomes. So, GAs and POs, as we call them, both are the same. Okay. Washington Accord uses the word graduate attribute, maybe some countries use that, but in India instead of GA we use the word program outcome. And this is something that has been added. The professional competence profiles for each professional category record the elements of competence necessary for performance that the professional is expected to be able to demonstrate in a holistic way at the stage of attaining registration. So, this sounds a complicated sentence, but we will spend more time on this when we come to writing outcomes. So, GAPC 4 also identifies knowledge and attitude profile, which they designate as WK 1 to 9. There are 9 of them. The curriculum and course design need to keep this required profile in consideration. And in addition to this, the program should also be designed and conducted to ensure that the graduates understand and can practice their profession that can facilitate meeting the UNO's sustainable development goals. See, now you have any number of constraints under which, or constraints, or call them boundaries, or many goals that you need to meet through an engineering program. It is not just a collection of courses. You have to make sure that you are training engineers to operate in a world where UNO's sustainable development goals need to be met. All countries have agreed to meet that. So, all industry will have to meet that, and people have to work in that kind of context. So, we will see how this will enter into the picture, but that is more of concern to the curriculum design. Now, we come to either graduate attributes or program outcomes. I have said there are 3 levels of outcomes in engineering programs. We call them program educational objectives, in short PEOs. PEOs are broad statements that describe the career and professional accomplishments in 4 to 5 years after graduation that the program is preparing graduates to achieve. That is, I am training student for certain profession. If he is a mechanical engineer, I want him to do a profession which is in mechanical engineering. That is all. That is what it is. How they have to be written down by the are identified by the department, and they have to be related to all the activities. How they are done we will see later. And then next level there are 2 parts: program outcomes and program specific outcomes. Program outcomes are statements that describe what the knowledge and skills and attitudes students of all engineering programs need to demonstrate. That is, whether you are a graduate of mechanical engineering or electronics and communication engineering, you must have certain common set of knowledge or certain common number of abilities and attitudes. They are called POs, but you also require some program specific. If you are a mechanical engineer, then you must have some mechanical engineering related outcomes. Okay. Then you come down to course outcomes. Now, a program consists of several courses, or for that matter it has a large number of courses, and COs or course outcomes are what students are required to demonstrate at the end of a course. So, you have 3 levels of outcomes, and we are in this course they all will have to be related, and you have to also demonstrate to what extent they have been attained. That means you have to work out how to measure the attainment. Now, how do we write these outcomes? PEOs are written by the department, okay, and POs are given by the NBA. No program has any choice. They are given by the National Board of Accreditation. You have to stay with that whether you like them or not. They are the same for all branches of engineering. PSOs and COs are written by the faculty of the departments. That is how they are generated first, and then PEOs, PSOs and COs individual faculty members cannot finalize. They are to be approved and cleared by a suitably constituted committee of the institute or the college following well defined processes. The accreditation requires that you follow these processes very clearly, which we will elaborate later. And outcomes need to be written in the framework of some taxonomy of learning. Okay, we will also explain what is taxonomy of learning and some taxonomy. But if you look around, we are in India, most of the institutes follow what we call revised Bloom's taxonomy for all activities of teaching and learning. There are other taxonomies like Solo, Fink, Marzano and so on, but here in this course we will be working with revised Bloom's taxonomy. We will have a number of sessions explaining what this is. Now, what are the outcomes of this particular course, that is OBE and accreditation? At the end of this course, you are expected to that the students will understand the nature of engineering programs in India. They will understand the roles and features of PEOs and POs. Students will understand the nature of revised Bloom's taxonomy of cognitive domain, and students will also understand the role of affective and psychomotor domains in engineering programs, and further they should be able to write PSOs and COs in the framework of revised Bloom's taxonomy. They should also understand how to compute the attainment of COs, POs and PSOs. Understand how to prepare self-assessment report of the NBA for an engineering program for accreditation by the NBA, and also they should understand how to prepare self-study report for an institute for accreditation by the NAC. So, these are the outcomes that we expect the learners to be able to do. Notice that I have used the word understand for most of that, and with a reason which will be clear when we go to when we explain revised Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. And the course is organized as a 3-credit course. It is of 12 weeks duration. Each week will have 5 half-hour video lectures. The course will have weekly assignments. The participant can seek clarifications using the forum. There will be 2 live sessions for direct interaction with the resource persons. There will be an end of the term online proctored examinations in designated centers. That is how the course is organized by will be conducted by the NPTEL. Okay. Now, in the next unit, we will try to understand the nature of engineering education in India. Thank you for your attention. Welcome to the course once again.